So today, we're unpacking something pretty big, a cultural moment, really. It started on screen, but it's now kicked off this major real-world thing.
We're diving into the aftermath of that Netflix series, Adolescence. It wasn't just, a hit show. It felt more like a wake-up call.
A huge one.
Yeah, its success was staggering, and then it just swept the Emmys. And all that prompted the creator, Stephen Graham, to launch this, well, really ambitious book project.
Aimed at getting fathers and sons talking, right? Bridging that gap.
Precisely, that communication gap.
Okay, so let's talk about that footprint first. Adolescence. When we say successful, we mean like historically successful. Our sources are saying it became Netflix's second most watched English language series ever.
Only behind Wednesday season 1, which is just wow.
Right, that's massive viewership. It means pretty much everyone was watching it or at least hearing about it.
And what's really interesting is how fast that translated from, just entertainment into something more, a kind of social mission.
Yeah, the reaction was apparently so intense, so widespread. Graham himself realized, okay, this conversation, this feeling the show stirred up, it can't just end when the credits roll.
It had to go somewhere.
Exactly. So that's our mission today, really, to look at how this incredibly successful award-winning drama is trying to turn its themes, these really heavy emotional themes, into an actual tool.
A tool for communication, which is where the book comes in.
The Bloomsbury Book Project, Letters to Our Sons.
Yeah. And to really get why this book project is happening, you have to remember what Adolescence was actually about. It wasn't easy watching, was it?
Yeah.
This 4-part drama, it wasn't really about escaping reality. It was confronting it head on.
Definitely confronting. It hit on things that make family life really tough for a lot of people right now.
Like what specifically?
Well, the sources point to two main things kind of tangled together. First, the huge impact of phones and social media on teenagers. Right. And second, this idea of toxic masculinity creating this, damaging silence in families.
And it's important how the show depicted that, isn't it? Toxic masculinity wasn't just, guys being aggressive.
No, not just that.
It was more about that silence, that inability for men, maybe across generations, to show they're struggling or be vulnerable or even just talk about feelings.
Using work or just shutting down as a deflection.
Exactly. And the show really hammered home the damage that does, especially to a teenage son who's looking for, a map for how to be a man.
And that clearly resonated because the show didn't just get buzz, it took over the news for weeks.
Yeah, the critics jumped on it straight away. The reaction was intense.
The Telegraph review, I remember seeing this cited, called it quietly devastating. Said it would chill your blood if you were a parent.
Wow. That's strong.
Yeah, when critics use language like that, you know it's hitting a nerve. It's saying, pay attention to this.
And it went beyond just reviews, didn't it? It actually entered the political conversation.
It really did, which is quite rare for a drama series. Tell us about the government's reaction.
Well, the UK government actually backed Netflix, making the show available to schools, treating it almost like educational material, not just entertainment.
That's fascinating. Was there any debate about that? Using a fictional Netflix show as a teaching tool? Or was everyone just on board because the issues felt so urgent?
From what we're seeing, the feeling was mostly urgency. Even the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, commented on it.
He did? What did he say?
He said the show highlighted an emerging and growing problem that needed tackling. He even mentioned finding it hard to watch as a dad.
Wow, okay.
So when you get that kind of high-level cross-party talk, it signals that the problem the show raised wasn't just being noticed, it was being seen as a genuine crisis.
And of course, we have to mention the quality that made people take it so seriously, the Emmys.
Oh yeah, the awards definitely cemented its impact. Best Limited Series, big wins for directing, writing.
Stephen Graham and Aaron Doherty got acting awards too. Powerful performances.
Absolutely masterful.
But here's the detail that really jumped out at me, and it's kind of amazing. Owen Cooper, the kid who played the son, he was 15.
Yeah.
He made Emmy history, won Best Supporting Actor for playing this schoolboy accused of murder, a 15-year-old.
That's incredible. And what that win signifies.
Yeah.
It's more than just an award, isn't it?
How so?
Well, for the industry to give that kind of recognition to such a young actor, for that role portraying this awful mix of vulnerability, bad influences, social pressure,
Yeah.
it just shows how deeply that story needed to be told.
Right now.
It validates the whole thing.
Okay, so picture this. The show wins everything. It's all over the news. The prime minister's talking about it. And then Stephen Graham says, hold on, we're not finished.
Yeah, that's the pivot point.
Which leads straight to this book project, Letters to Our Sons. But
What?
why a book? Seems a bit slow, maybe. After the lightning strike of the show, wouldn't like a campaign or another documentary be faster, get to more people than a book coming out in 2026?
That's a really good question. And I think Graham's reasoning, based on what we're reading, is that the quick hit of TV isn't enough for this kind of change.
Need something deeper.
Exactly. He calls the book a continuation of the message, something practical. A tool, he said, for fathers to start more conversations with their sons.
So it's like the show was the diagnosis, maybe? Pointing out the problem, the disconnect.
Yeah, Graham talked about seeing this greater need for communication, this even bigger disconnect than ever before.
And the book is the therapy session, or the start of one.
Kind of. And making it a book, especially a collection of letters people write themselves, that forces a different kind of engagement.
Slower, more deliberate.
Yeah, analog, permanent. It makes you sit down, think, articulate things, which is the exact opposite of that toxic silence culture and maybe the opposite of the fast scroll social media the show also critiqued.
It's like an antidote, slow communication.
An act of contemplation.
And looking at who they want letters from, it seems really important to Graham that this isn't just, celebrities or perfectly articulate dads.
Absolutely not. They're making a point of asking for fathers from all walks of life.
Which means?
Well, the call for submissions is incredibly broad and quite moving, actually. They want letters from men of all ages, obviously first-time dads,
Sure.
but also, and this is key, from absent fathers. Dads who maybe couldn't say things in person.
Wow.
And also fathers who were physically there but maybe emotionally distant, never truly been there, as they put it.
It's power.
And even tragically, fathers who've lost sons.
So it's not just about fixing things, it's about regret, grief, processing things that were left unsaid. That adds a whole other layer.
It really does. The core message they're hoping comes through is simple but hard.
Which is?
Basically finding a way to say I love you and finding a way to talk openly about what it means to be a man. Graham's putting his own letter in too, apparently, to his son, sort of leading by example, showing that vulnerability.
And he's not doing this alone, right? There's professional input.
Yeah, he's working with a psychology lecturer, Orly Klein. So there's that academic and therapeutic understanding shaping it.
Right, provides a framework.
Ensure it's handled sensitively.
Okay, so for anyone listening who might be thinking about this or knows someone who should, the practical side.
All right, the submissions opened back on October 15th.
Yeah.
And they run until January 12th.
So, a decent window.
But yeah, as we said, this is a long game.
Yeah.
The book itself isn't due out until October 2026.
2 years. So, patience is needed.
Definitely. It's a slow burn project.
And there's a charity aspect, too, which feels pretty important to the whole mission.
Yes, absolutely. For every letter they publish, a donation gets made. It's going to support men's mental health orgs.
Which ones?
2 specific groups.
Yeah.
The charity ManUp and a social enterprise called Dad La Soul.
Okay, why those 2? What do they do?
Well, ManUp focuses directly on young men struggling with mental health, helping them talk about it. Dad La Soul is more about connecting dads with their kids through creativity, play, just connection.
So it covers both the serious mental health support and the sort of positive relationship building.
Exactly. It shows the project understands connection happens in different ways. It's not all heavy talks. And Bloomsbury, the publisher, is chipping in with another donation to ManUp, too.
Right. So let's try and tie this together. We had Adolescence, this really powerful, quite harrowing TV show.
Yeah. Hard to watch, like Starmer said.
It forced a difficult national conversation about that silence between men, fathers, and sons, the impact of social media. Yeah. That was the shock, the diagnosis.
Exactly. Effective, immediate, got everyone's attention.
And now, this book project, Letters to Our Sons, is the next step. The deliberate, maybe slower, reflective part.
Moving from seeing the problem to actually providing a tool, a mechanism for maybe starting to heal, starting that dialogue long term.
So the Emmy-winning show was the prompt.
And the 2026 book is the response, the long-term commitment to addressing what the show unearthed.
It's quite a thing, seeing fictional art spark such a concrete, real-world response, a kind of cultural follow-through.
It really is. And it leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? Something the sources make you think about.
Which is?
What does it actually mean for us as a society, and maybe for fathers specifically, that it took a hit TV show, a fictional drama, to really kickstart this massive conversation about, well, about what it means to be a man today?
That's a heavy question. It suggests maybe other ways of having that conversation schools, families, communities weren't working or weren't
And
happening.
perhaps it points to that silence Graham talked about.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, how do we define strength now?
Hmm.
Is it the stiff upper lip, the silence? Or is it the courage it takes to write one of those difficult letters?
Yeah. What is modern manhood? The show asked it. The book project is trying to explore it.
And the legacy of all this, it won't just be the book in 2026. It's about the stories we tell ourselves and the ones we maybe avoid. About fathers, sons, love, masculinity.
Are we actually ready to hear what Jump saying?
That's the question to ponder, I think. Are we ready to listen?
Definitely something to think about. Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into adolescence and this really interesting project it sparked.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see what comes out of those letters.
We'll be watching.